why are you
Hello and welcome back to Stats1, section 2.5, Misleading Graphs. Yeah, I know. You tried, but missed the mark. It's okay. There's always a next class. So, misleading graphs, right? That sometimes you look at the graph quickly and make wrong conclusions because the graph was poorly constructed. One of the good examples would be the value of the stock. Let me bring up stock for, I don't know, J&J stock? J&J stock. Let's see. Before I show the stock, I want to see if this is the good one to. Amazing, I think. Let me see. All right. So as you are looking at this graph, which shows the stock for J&J, the market opens at 9 a.m. and closes at 4 p.m. and currently it's almost 1 p.m. So the graph shows the way the value fluctuates. Now, it starts with 133 and now it's $132. Now, that's a dollar difference, right, from the start of the graph to the end of the graph. If you have 100,000 shares in a company, a loss of $1 is equivalent to loss of $100,000. Let me repeat that. Well, let's go with 10,000 shares. Let's say you have 10,000 shares. The loss of $1 that you can clearly see here, because this is 133 and this is 132, right? 132 current. The loss of $1 on 10,000 shares is a loss on $10,000. Is it one of those sell situations? No. Experienced people will say, hell no, because you don't look at this graph. Because if you look at this graph, this is what's happening today, right? But if you jump on a 5-day thing, woohoo! Look at that. The 5-day thing, right, from 127-ish, right, to 132, that's $5 up. Look at that, right? But $5 up on this, and that's 50,000 pocketed over those 5 days. So sure, I might be losing $10,000 over the past 6 hours, right? But, well, 6 hours, 4 hours. But over the course of 5 days, I have $50,000. So I'm still net $40,000 good on that stock. And then if you go 1 month, ooh, I actually did lose a lot of money over this 1 month, right? But it seems it's going up and down and up and down. Now 3, whoa, this is a huge plunge, right? So we really lost a lot of money. 1 year, look at that. That was good. Not so good now. But hopefully, look at that. This is 5 years, all right? So 5 years back, when you bought these guys for about $75, right? You have doubled that value by now. So if you bought 100,000 worth of stocks, now you have 200,000 worth of investment in it, right? So what are the misleading graphs? The misleading graphs are the graphs, right, that are zoomed in inappropriately, so they show the wrong trend. And you don't actually see the true picture because the graph is not well done, executed. Max is from 1980s, right, when the stocks, right, when it started.
That's been split too a couple times.
Yeah.
So we really make money.
So it started at $1.41 per stock, right? And now is 100 times that. So if you invested $1 million, no one did, but if you invested $1 million, today you have $100 million off of this. So that's, now don't kid yourself that if you don't understand these kind of things, that you will be just jumping on board and doing this every time, right? But the idea is that, you can if you learn enough. Or you get a significant chunk of your earning for someone to manage your portfolio, who knows statistics and calculus and things like that, because they're paid for those things. So now what we are going to do is we are going to take a look at truncated graphs, right? When they are cut off the way where you can't really see the real picture. The unemployment rates in all right, so let me just get the details on this one. So unemployment rates, the Bureau of Labor Statistics collects data on unemployment rates and publishes its finding in labor force statistics. So this is United States, they don't say which year, September through March of next year. September through March of next year. They don't give specific details here, but that's okay. We can take a look at this. So you would probably say that by looking at the 7% unemployment rate here, and then you have 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10, this is 8%. So this is the unemployment rate percent. And we start at 7.8% unemployment rate for September. And then it goes up to 7.9. Then it goes flat for 2 months. Then it goes up. And then it goes down and down. So it goes here and here. November, December, January, February, and March. There we go. So this is the unemployment rate. When you zoom into the graph, just like what I showed you earlier with stocks, you see these fluctuations that might tell you that the unemployment rate oscillates a lot. When in fact, if you are to look at the graph that goes from 0 to 8, you're just going to pretty much get a straight line. And here are the actual graphs. And probably some of you can't even make distinction from out back that some of these are taller than others. should conclude it's a flat, right? It's flat unemployment rate, but over here, it looks like, oh, it's really good, it's crazy, it's changing all the time. It doesn't, right? It's flat. So you have to consider the scale at which you are looking as you are considering these graphs. And there is another good improper scaling.
So the first graph is basically truncated.
Yes, the first graph is truncated because it starts at 7%, and the second one shows all of the data 0 through 8. So that will be the same as, watching that stock price every hour instead of going over a month, a year, and so on. Another way, so this is truncating graphs and making sure that everything is done properly. Another one is improper scaling, and this is one of my favorites. So if you double a diagonal of your TV, if you double it, how much bigger your TV is? If you double, so you go and let's say you own a 32-inch flat screen TV, and you go and you buy a 64. How much bigger the new TV is? So that's problem with scaling. Doubling diagonal makes the surface area of your TV, the viewable area, 4 times bigger. Now here is the situation. If this is your TV, and we have an example of this in statistics with someone home building, a developer is preparing a brochure to attract investors, blah blah, and gives the wrong graph, which investors obviously are going to read and know how wrong is what this guy wrote and reject the investment. But let's take a look at this. Let's talk about a TV. If this is your 32 diagonal, doubling that diagonal is going to go up to here. And then you have another TV, but then TV doesn't look like this, right? It has the other parts to it, right? So you see the doubling diagonal, it makes the viewable area of the TV 4 times. So what is a 4K resolution? 4K resolution is what? You know the 1080p? Yeah, each one of these boxes is 1080p. That's what 4K is. Yeah. So now that you know this, here are the 2 graphs that are on the flyer provided by this builder who's looking for investment. And it says, developer draws the pictogram to symbolically represent the concept that he is talking about, which is the this year twice as many homes will be built like last year. So technically this builder is looking for an investor. He wants to build all these houses, right? And then they will share the profits from selling those houses. The issue is that the pictogram looks like this. A house over here, and then a house over here, showing the old house because the height over here, right, is half of the total house height of the new house. And then the shading, if I can pull off the color, and I can, the same color as in the book, it goes, this is blue, and this is blue, showing the doubling rate. Well, sorry, it's actually 4 times on your picture, which you hopefully understood as we talked about increasing the size of your TV. So you have to be careful the way you represent. These are the only two examples that are given because it's a very short lecture. Just to be very careful which way you represent your data, and obviously that will reflect on your project. The very interesting debate took place a number of times online, and a lot of people are outraged with the current situation with Black Lives Matter. If you take a look at the debates online, you are also going to find a video which is titled "Who Kills Who in United States?" And you can actually look at the data, and maybe some of you will be interested in actually looking at that data and that statistics for the project as well. It connects all of the dots about this very big social issue that it's currently very current, right? That it's currently very current, that it's current. And you can take a look at the data and which way you can misinterpret the data to draw some conclusions that are sparking the debates. So take a look into that if you have interest in that aspect of today's reality. That's it for today. I will see you all in 2 days. We are starting chapter 3, but we also need to talk about exam 1 if you want to have it, or I believe exam 1 is after chapter 3. It's something like that. So start thinking about that, and see you in 2 days. And by the way, we're back in this room for good, so we'll stay here.